Welcome to the Netfield Experience. I'm your host, Joey McGinnis. The goal of the Netfield Experience is to help single dads thrive while balancing life and making an impact on our kids' lives at the same time. So be sure to follow me on my journey. Be sure to subscribe and follow as I release weekly content. On this episode right here, I want to talk about AAU coaches and parents. Coaches and parents have lost their minds flat out. One of my passions is helping you through education and sports. And I've been on both sides of that equation. The parent, the athlete, the coach, and most recently a referee. Or and both sides have given me a unique perspective on AU sports and sports parents. I was taught this principle. I was taught this principle by my last principal at my school that oftentimes there's two types of people. There's turtles and giraffes. And the difference between those two people is turtles oftentimes look at what's immediately in front of them, and that giraffe is going to look above the trees to see what's coming. And I like to think that I operate and I move as an eagle. And what I mean by that is I look at life from a unique perspective in that I'm looking towards the horizon and what I'm trying to accomplish in life. And I know I have the skills and experience that I can dive down all to the ground if I need to, and I can get right back up and soar again and live in that realm. So, during this time of the year where I live at, AU basketball in particular is king. And I've seen the benefits of strong AAU programs. I've seen programs turn young men and young women into some amazing athletes. You could tell when they show up for your sport that they've been training and working, and it makes them a better student athlete. And unfortunately, I have seen a side of AU sports that just makes me cringe. This past weekend, I was refereeing a basketball game, some typical sixth graders, nothing special. And whenever I officiate a game, I give the team, the parent, the player, everybody's getting the benefit of the doubt that we out here for one thing only, and that's to make sure that this young lady or young man is better for having played this sport in this experience of playing a sport. And you may have heard this analogy, or I believe it. You want to know anything about a family or culture or any particular group? Watch the kids. And this weekend, one of the teams was losing and losing bad. I mean, you knew where the outcome was headed. I could see it early, thinking in my mind like, "Oh, here we go." And I say all the time, wins, WINS, mask the true culture and feelings of a person, a group of people, a coach, or a parent. You lose a game and sit back and just listen. You listen to what the parents are screaming and hollering. And for all my coaches out there, do me a favor in the comments, drop that. I don't know if it's a shake your head emoji. If you ever lost a game and your parents went nuts. So in this game, the the losing team of players, they're hollering, yelling, and cussing at each other. And I'm already like, man, what is going on out here? And in typical referee fashion, I'll make a call. Coach don't like it. Parents start hollering at me. Right now, they're yelling at me. Now you could complain about calls. That happens all day. I'm good with that. But the one thing that a coach or parent will say to me that sticks in whatever you want to call it. If you say I'm trying to cheat, like I woke up this past weekend, drove 30 minutes to referee some sixth graders. I never met none of them. And on my way down there, I'm thinking, oh, you know what? I'm gonna cheat for the orange team that's gonna lose. Are you serious? Like, I can't believe this. And here comes the coach. Like, I'm gonna say, bruh. So I make a call. He doesn't like it. And before you know it, I'm MF this and you MF that and this and that, boom, team up right on the spot. And before I could even say anything to him, and this gonna sound crazy, I wasn't really upset at him. Or the parents that was yelling at me. What made me disappointed, and I'll use that word, was the sure fact that you had a gym full of kids that are impressionable at this age. So they listening to you, they watching what you do, they're copying. Like these are the coping skills we giving these kids. If that one bad thing comes your way, it's MF this, MF that, right? And Unfortunately, that will make its way onto baseball fields, football fields, basketball courts, and unfortunately for some of our youth, it'll make its way into a courtroom. Imma just leave that right there. So, I just I had to just get this off my chest. And the fact that these children will look at this coach or parents and think that that's how you deal with someone in authority or an adult. Recently, there was something that I saw on social media. There was a substitute teacher and a student that, let's say, they got into it. I didn't see the beginning of what led up to the video. I just saw that young lady approach that teacher and address her and then swing on her. And again, what the comments went viral. Like, you had parents on one side of the issue, you had on the other side of the issue. Um, and you're entitled to argue however you see it. But some as somebody that works in education, I would love to go back if I could see the culture in which that young lady is just living in. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or different, but what are we doing as parents? Like, when did going back to sports, when did sports become more important than education? At my school right now, which I won't say the name, jokingly, you want a parent to come back to my school real quick. Let something not go their way as far as sports. Um, and if I could somehow go back to that court this past weekend and just if I could freeze time and just talk to those players and them coaches and them parents and let them know, that the way we're acting now is what we're kind of, I ain't gonna say kind of what you putting into our kids. These are the coping skills that we're providing them, and just let those kids know it's basketball. Nobody's out here getting scholarships last time I checked. So there's nothing this coach is gonna do to guarantee your son or daughter is gonna get a scholarship, and there's nothing that your coach is gonna do to prevent you from getting a scholarship. Focus on the things that we can control, them grades, and just remind them kids this past weekend that it's just a game. Literally, it's just a game. They're gonna be kids and get in the car. They're gonna go about their lives. And at least we, parents, coaches, and the people around these kids, we gotta make it where it's something fun for these kids to do. And again, why are we there? It's for the kids. Um, Again, coaches, referees, parents, if you've seen that side of AAU, drop that in the comments. And I'd also, believe it or not, I like to hear the good side because there are some really good coaches out there, especially in this area, with some programs that are pouring into these young men and young women. And you can see it when they come into those classrooms and down those hallways that somebody is spending some time with. So I want to thank you, coach, for doing that for these kids. And again, thanks for following me on this journey. Be sure to subscribe and like. Again, I'm releasing content every week. Look forward to. I got some new things coming out. I got a new series coming out. I'm calling it How To, and it's a lot of things that from grilling to traveling to some other things I got going on outside of just you know some of the topics that we've been discussing thus far. So appreciate you. Hey, we'll see you guys here soon. Thanks.